welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me for another one of my YouTube videos. So many of you had requested this video. Although I've covered moon cycles and little rituals before, I thought I would do a more in-depth little video about my new moon practices and my full moon practices. So if you want it written down and like a little guide to follow, I do have both blog posts over on my website. I will link them down below. So each month you can refer back to it and have a written list or watch this video, whatever's easier. So I first came across, should I say, new moon and full moon practices in Yasmin Boland's Moonology book, which is a fantastic read if you haven't read it already, all about the moon cycles, lunar cycles, how the moon can affect us, our moods, what certain moons in what mean. Like, it really was like the go-to guide of moons, really. quite simply, and it is a book that I like follow religiously, and yeah, just recommend to everybody because it's just such a great easy read and a great read for like beginners, basically, to just introduce you gently to the concept, and then you can obviously go from there. So I kind of like incorporated little bits from that book and other things I'd read online to my own little practice, which I obviously share with you guys on the new moon and full moon. So there is a new moon and full moon most commonly once a month, but sometimes you will have 2 full moons in a month, and that will be a blue moon. That is what a blue moon is called, but that kind of happens maybe once, twice a year, and that does vary. So obviously typically it's once a month for both, so they're normally 2 weeks apart from one another. And we actually had a new moon yesterday. This will be a couple of weeks later though, so that won't make sense, but we did have a new moon yesterday when I'm filming this, and that is all at the manifesting moon. It is all about new energy, newness, bringing new energy and new manifestations into your life and setting yourself up for the month ahead. So although it's not on like the first of the month, which would be really handy, it's normally kind of the first, second week of the month. So this month in November, it was the 7th. And all of these dates you can just find out really easily from giving it a quick Google search, or if you've got my law of attraction calendars, you can get your 2019 ones now if you haven't, from my shop. I will link that. Yeah, I've also put all the new moons and full moons on there to help you also, which I thought was an absolute gem of an idea, I must admit, because I was like, now even I know when the full moons and new moons are. So they're really easy to Google online, but yeah, if you've got my calendar, have a look at that as well. And yeah, so the new moon is the manifesting moon, all about bringing newness into your life. So in that practice, what I like to do is use a journal for that. So now I can use my own journal, I'm not gonna lie. So I just feel like this is a shameless plug now of my calendars and of the bloody journal. I promise it wasn't, I'm just giving useful things of what I actually do. So I now use my moon journal. So it could be any journal, it doesn't have to be, but if you do want to have a look, obviously I'll link that down below as well for you. I will stop with the shameless plugging now, I promise. So yeah, I use a journal, a moon journal, and in that I will write all the things that I want to manifest for the month ahead. So that can be manifestations, emotions, feelings, just anything really, like whatever's coming up for me that month, and I think, right, I want to send some like extra positive energy there. I will write it down as kind of like a manifestation list, definitely, very similar, and it will just be for the next 30 days. So don't put things which are like years or months in the future, should we say. Like, so say for instance, if you want to manifest the dream house and you're not going to be looking for the dream house for 6 months, you don't want to put that on there. You want to put things which are going to like influence your life in the next 30 days essentially. So yeah, it's all about that. I also, like, Hannah taught me as well, my friend Hannah taught me that, and you know, she just did this one time. We were doing like a new moon circle together, and like me and my friends do that just to kind of like enhance the energy and all manifest together. And so if you've got any other spiritual friends, they're really cool to do. All you need to do is just have a couple of you. We normally do it over phone because obviously we all live apart, and yeah, it's just nice to kind of manifest together and do the full moon rituals together as well, actually. Yeah, so Hannah introduced me to actually also adding a forgiveness list of people we can forgive, or situations or things we want to forgive, and also what we want to let go of. Now, the full moon is the letting go moon, and I wouldn't normally suggest letting go on the new moon, but I've actually found it's been quite beneficial as well. So there is no right or wrong way to do this. If you want to do like these little top tips from Hannah, obviously feel free to, or if you want to stick to the ritual I've got on my website, obviously do what vibes with you, because that's always the decision you should make. So yeah, so I have started doing that, and I do feel it has helped, just little nice things. But the key is to not burn your new moon list. You want to keep your new moon list, so whether that's in your journal, or you know, keep it safe in a diary or something, or your manifestation box, definitely keep it safe, because you want to be able to look at it next month and be like, what have I manifested? Like, what's come true? So yeah, keep your list. Also, what I suggest doing on my new moon ritual is to do a magic check. So I fill out a magic check, which is literally a check which you print off, and it's from the book The Magic, which is by Rhonda Byrne, who wrote The Secret. So again, you can find that link on my blog, and I just write what money I'd like to bring into my life that month. So this is extra money, and someone literally did comment the other day and I forgot to reply to it, so I'm replying here, of do you include your salary or do you put extra money? Now, from my own experience, I put extra money. I just, because obviously, like, well, I suppose, actually no, that's an absolute lie. I don't. I do put everything, because I'm self-employed. If you're employed and your salary is like the same every month, I don't think it's essential. But because I'm self-employed, and obviously my salary like goes up and down depending on, you know, what I make each month, yes, I do. I do put full amounts. I put what I like as a salary, and any like extras at all. Like if I want to get, I don't know, like a sponsored post or something, or I don't know, like an extra life coaching client, like I'll put that on there and like equate that into the figure essentially. So yes, that's really good to do if you've got your own business. If you're kind of employed and your salary set, then by all means do it if you want to, but I don't think it's essential, because you know you're going to get that each month. But to be honest, I would probably advise it, because otherwise, if you were to like write £100, then you might only earn £100 that month, which wouldn't be good. So I'm just gonna like literally cover my ass here and say, just write down your salary plus what you want to manifest. I could have avoided this whole 2-minute segment by just saying, yes, write down your salary plus what you want to manifest. But I've had that realization myself, so we've both learned something through this. So that's essentially what you should do through a new moon practice. I like to set up a little altar as well, very much like this as a background. So crystals, candles, some incense sticks. I love to burn white sage on my new moon and full moon practices as well, just because it's a really cleansing practice. So you want to cleanse your energy and invoke positive vibes. And I also bring my aura sprays in as well for like cleansing, my archangel ones as well, if I need to call upon them to help with anything. So that's what I tend to do. It's normally about half an hour practice. It's really not long at all. It's about 2 hours when I'm on the phone to Hannah, because we talk about everything during. But yeah, if you're by yourself, it should take about half an hour. So a full moon practice is, again, it will be 2 weeks after the full moon, new moon, sorry. So just double check that date. It's not always exactly, so just double check. And that is all about letting go. So the full moon is all about releasing, letting go, wrapping things up, conclusions of the month. So whereas the new moon is very much new beginnings and newness, the full moon is very much, not, I don't want to say like endings, I don't want to like be like endings, but conclusions and wrapping up things and letting go. So it's all really positive. Both moons are very positive and really beneficial for both things. You've got your manifesting moon, and then you've kind of got your emotional moon, I think, where you can just really release and use the powerful moon energy to really help you manifest even more, to be honest. So in your full moon practice, again, set your little shrine up, your little area, your sacred space. Friends optional once again, but I do like doing both practices in like little groups, just because it really helps, I think. And again, you want to write a list. So again, you can use the moon journal for this. So I have put top tips in there as well. So I've written like the rituals and top tips there, and they are blank pages, but they have little decorations and affirmations on. So if one time you want to do a full moon, and then you want to do a new moon, and then you want to do another new moon and miss a full moon, I thought that was much easier than restricting you to doing a full moon and new moon list. So yeah, it's totally up to you which ones you do. So again, write in my moon journal and I will just write down everything I want to let go of. So emotions, anything that happened, sometimes even manifestations. If you feel like you're holding on to stuff and you're not releasing or letting go, then this could be a really good practice for that. So just write everything down, freaking everything. That's what I do. And then this I think is really good for what Hannah does, is again writing any people or situations you want to forgive, even if it's yourself. And then finally gratitude as well. I forgot to mention that she does also suggest writing gratitude in there as well, which I don't think is a bad thing. Like letting go, being grateful and forgiving, like together that is a magical mix of positive emotions. So I think it's all good. And again, you can just go with the flow of what you want to do. So a full moon's a little bit easier because you haven't got your magic checks, you haven't got to like think about what you want to manifest, you just got to think about what you want to let go of. But equally, I'm not gonna lie, I think I prefer full moons. I'm a real big full moon girl at the moment. Maybe I'm a wolf, who knows, but I'm very much like a full moon lover at the moment, just because I find it helps so much with releasing, and it just helps so much. So I'm really game for that, and I love doing these practices because, you know, the moon does affect us so much. Like our bodies are, I think I read like 70%, could be wrong, 70% water or something like that. So, you know, the moons affect the water. So the moons of course affect us. Like, oh my God, they affect my moods. Like, and I'm sure all of us can agree, like when it's been a full moon or a new moon and we're like, oh, we're all feeling all the feels and all the emotions and all the things that are happening in that moon cycle. So yeah, they do affect us. It's really good to like, you know, have a look at stuff. Obviously follow Yasmin Boland. She's really amazing for astrology and, you know, moonology as well, so learning about the moons. Also another lovely lady I follow on Instagram is Danielle Page. She's awesome. So she gives like really good descriptions of like what's happening with the moon cycles and planets. So that's always a really good account to follow as well if I want to know what's like going on cosmically. So both of them are really good to follow, and obviously you can Google the dates of the full moon and new moons, so you can find out when you need to do your practices. But like I said, both practices are on my blog, so if you want all of this written down in a really simple step-by-step process, then I will link them down below for you to have a look at. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. As always, in the comments, let me know what you do in your practices. Do you do anything differently? What would you recommend for people? Because this is the beauty of it. You can literally create your own little ritual here and do your own things. Like I've got mine, Hannah's got hers, and we kind of like incorporate them. So yeah, there's really no right or wrong things to do here. It's what feels good for you and what you feel is gonna bring you the most success or the best feelings, should we say. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. I appreciate all your views and likes. Obviously everything I've spoken about will be linked in the description box down below. Don't forget to leave me a comment because I reply to them all, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new here because I would love to see you again soon. And don't forget, you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook. The link's in the description as well, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls where we speak all things spirituality and Law of Attraction. So I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I will see you in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love, guys.